Today is all about a Ripple IPO. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, check this out. Right now over on Twitter, Eleanor Tourette just said this. New. In April, Ripple hosted a private roadshow, a marketing event where a company and its underwriters meet with potential investors to generate interest in an IPO. I'm told it was attended by just about every reputable institutional investment firm on the street. She later on went to articulate, I want to make the point that this move by Ripple does not mean they're going public tomorrow or even a few months from now. It takes a minimum of 6 months to even prepare for an IPO, but this meeting with major Wall Street analysts shows Ripple is getting the ball rolling. And I mean, we've been talking over the last couple of days. I am blocked. Let's go to a different Twitter. We've been talking on the last couple of days about this potential IPO because things were gearing up. Again, Ripple's acquisition of Medical recently, the way they've been acting, the way they've been informing the market, everything looked like an IPO, which again would be Ripple going public, was coming up. Linda P. Jones said, good analysis. Reasons why I think it'll IPO sooner. Private roadshow meeting with analysts April 2023. Only companies that don't need cash can IPO in a bad IPO market. Ripple with $1 billion cash is one that can. And 3 is the momentum. The end of the lawsuit will create strong demand for XRP. This is something I described to you guys yesterday. If you watched yesterday's video, make sure you press, that like button I wanted to say. Make sure you press that like button. Yeah, but in all seriousness, yesterday we covered that it would make complete logical sense that major institutional investors are going for XRP. Because if you think about it, what cryptos can you buy in the US as an investment firm? If you're buying Bitcoin, you're buying the narrative of screw the banks, grab your own money, be decentralized, have this government non-controllable money, which a lot of investors don't like. Like, for example, Warren Buffett, he doesn't like the idea of this Bitcoin, right? But with XRP, which would at that point be the only properly regulated crypto, the idea is not screw the banks. The idea is work with the current financial infrastructure and make it better, upgrade the system. It's not get rid of everything that was ever built and create a new system. It's build on top of the currently functioning system. And we can sit here talking about all the connections that Ripple has placed over the last couple of months and years. I don't think that's fully necessary because I hope that you guys will understand just how powerful Ripple already is in their field. And specifically, a lawsuit settlement could just absolutely make them destroy the competition. Because if you think about it, there is no competition. There's no other crypto that could do it the way that Ripple does it if they end up victorious here. Now, where would the price go of XRP if Ripple were to go public? Honestly, I want to refrain from speculating on all these matters because very often when companies IPO, it actually ends up being worse after a little while than where it IPO'd at. So you can see a lot of these companies have just done extremely bad after doing an IPO. And that's the thing, all right? The SEC seems to only want to protect us from all these crypto things, saying, oh, it's burning all these investors, while people that buy into companies early before the IPO get crazy amounts of money once it goes public. And then the moment that retail can buy, things go bad because, well, these major investors, they just want to dump. You got to understand, guys, Ripple is being backed by some powerful people. Even Google Ventures is in, if you guys remember that. You could just go and check the entire list of the companies that invested in Ripple early. But for the perspective that a lot of these companies that do extremely well at IPO, a lot of them do bad afterwards. I just don't want to speculate too much on what would happen after the IPO. But I do believe that in case of an IPO, the value will still do exceedingly well. And you got to understand, a lot of these institutional investors that are then going into Ripple, buying stock with this idea now, not sure exactly what I was saying. I just quickly opened some windows, got some light in. And I just quickly want to say, guys, if you're watching this video here, I care about you. If you've not walked outside yet today, I'm just saying quickly, make sure you put your daily steps in, get some sunlight, make sure you drink enough water. Just a little daily reminder. Money is nice, your gains in XRP, whatever, are nice, but it doesn't mean that much if you're not healthy to see it happen, So just a quick little reminder. Moving on, Digital Perspective said, will we see a record-setting IPO for Ripple after the judge's decision? Listen to 25-year Wall Street veteran discuss what a Ripple IPO could look like. A 20x valuation is 600 plus Ripple share price. With Crypto Sasha saying, I definitely agree, 100 to 150 billion valuation from the current $35 to $34 a share is a very realistic valuation with some sort of basically pump continuously over time. Again, even though a lot of IPOs end up being an overvaluation, It's not always the case. And I personally like to think more about what XRP will be at. Like I was trying to say earlier, if you think about it, again, just putting in logic here, people that are buying Ripple stock have a very high likelihood of then also trying to push adoption for XRP, as that's one of the things that Ripple makes a lot of profit on and utilizes a lot. So in my own opinion, it makes a whole lot of sense. If the more interest there is in Ripple stock, the more interest there would also be in XRP. And so if a lot of guys are now confirming that indeed Ripple is looking into getting an IPO going and the price would just do so insane for Ripple, I think that would also reflect back onto XRP. And a little side note, I guess, happy birthday to XRP. I didn't even know it was created on June 2nd, 2012. So yeah, that makes today its 11th birthday, which is pretty wild already. And like I've also been stating for the last couple of videos, there's a lot happening to the XRP ledger in the background. Again, you guys know that my personal price prediction for XRP is like at least $10 before I even think about selling a single penny. Often people come up to me in the comment section and say, oh, but Dusty, people will massively sell at these levels of like $3, the all-time high, etc. And I keep saying, I don't personally think so. I think you might see one bigger sell break at like $1 somewhere around that level, because at that point, a lot of people are back in profit, so they might just want to sell because they want to be done with it. And those are the weak hands. But I personally think more people will actually be buying at those levels because of this massive wave of FOMO. And I think because it's going to be the first properly regulated crypto with so much hype behind it, a lot of people just want to ride this one out and want to see at least a 10x on their investment. But I personally think $12 or even further than that might not actually even cause that many people to sell, because they just think it's going to continue to go higher over time because they've now got this status. And that was the hardest part. Realistically speaking, there's more chance the price just continue to go up over time than crashing down like crazy, because why would you want to sell it as of that point when a lot of the things it's been building at that point basically have now finally gotten achieved or are now starting to get working or in function in proper order, sort of. Having said that, a new chain with all the power of the XP ledger with smart contracts. Valuation said, we're working with compliance and legal to get a hooks-enabled sidechain running. The chain will be there to stay. Complementary to the XP ledger, it will be launched with hooks enabled from Ledger 1. That's basically with the idea of XRP getting up there against Ethereum in a similar way as Cardano's been trying to do it. Because XRP right now, the XP ledger, it's all for payments. It's not really so much for building, but they're trying to basically make a little bit of a dent in the in the building ecosystem, in the platform ecosystem. He's saying, why is always that the Ethereum/EVM ecosystem is always coming up with these new cool features and ideas, and why is the XP ledger always playing catch up? Because of smart contracts. You don't have to change the entire blockchain protocol. You get a blank canvas, come up with new features, and build it. And then Valuation tries to say that if you really want to change the XRP ledger's code, it's extremely hard. That's on its own, it's pretty hard, but also to get it actually implemented is even harder. So he's saying, instead of this annoying, rigorous process, let's just use the original, something we've talked about, hooks amendment that we've been talking about for a while. And through hooks, developers can add their own logic and state to accounts on the XP ledger protocol chains with hooks enabled. Whatever features you want, it's all available through hooks. Better key management, compliant features, enterprise features, games, automation, limited signing delegation, one implementation to rule them all. Almost half a year ago, we published a blog about hooks. Hooks aren't just an idea. The technology exists today on our Hooks v3 testnet, and the amendment for itself, which we've been talking about for so long, is coming. They've just finished a specific audit to be published soon, but as we said, they're working on the compliance and legal to get this up and running. No ICO, no airdrop, we're not leeching, we're expanding the ecosystem for the XRP ledger and for XRP, and that could be just absolutely huge. Anyway, don't want to waste too much of your time. Those are the two things I've been thinking about and looking into with regards to XRP, and that's about it. As I said earlier, guys, make sure you've got the notification bell on, because what if Ripple lawsuit is all of a sudden over? You want to be notified as soon as possible, and that's about it. See ya.